I didn't grow up in a space where we spent a lot of time cooking in the kitchen. And so there wasn't an ease about being in the kitchen. Like wasting the food equals wasting the money. And if you make a mistake in what you're cooking, then it's like throwing the money away, right? I
Mm.
also grew up in a place where like my dad just grilled everything. Like it was like, I feel like we had hot dogs and hamburgers all the time with like beans and potato salad. Like with mayonnaise. Like as I then became a mother and became the person in the household who was doing a lot of the cooking, I realized that my skill set was pretty sparse. And so I just wanted to get better at it. Like there's nothing worse than when you cook and you're like, oh, no one's gonna like this and it's gonna taste bad and I'm bad at this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like I just wanted to have a better idea of how to put things together in terms of a palette, like like thyme always tastes good with lemon and chicken, or um, how do you create depth in a meal, like in food?
Mhm.
Take a bite of something. And I think that's the thing. Like I love to go out to eat, and that was because I worked in restaurants for a long time.
Mhm.
And so, you know, how can I do that myself at home?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Cool.
And so much of it is having good tools. That was one of the most helpful things about the course was just knowing, like, um, I am the type of person that gets very overwhelmed with things like, oh, I have to have the right knife and I have to have the right cutting board. And as part of the course, you posting that information, like, uh, the I want to call them pre videos. They're not pre videos, but watching those videos ahead of time, ahead of class starting, and seeing like, oh, here's a link to a good knife on Amazon that doesn't cost $500. Like, that's great. Like,
Yeah.
I just need someone to help me with the basic stuff like that. I loved that it was on Zoom because I got to be in my own kitchen. And part of what I worked on in the one-on-one was creating a flow in my kitchen. And so part of that was actually rearranging where all my tools are and recognizing that I was wasting so much energy in the process of preparing meals by, there not being a proper flow created. It used to take me a really long time to do, if a recipe says like this part will take 20 minutes, it would take me like an hour. And
Uh,
now I'm much quicker about all of that. Being in our own spaces and yet being together was like we were uh all forging ahead, and but doing it together. So there was a really beautiful aspect. Um and I feel like everyone was really encouraging of everyone else, and that helped a lot. Um to to share that everyone was so welcoming, and I just felt that there was a lot of joy in the room being on Zoom. But um it was I loved that part of it. And I think that was a really special part that we couldn't have had if we were all in the same room together. I bought your cookbook right when it first came out. And and I love having the recipes, but there's something about doing it together in a communal space, even if it's on Zoom. It's like you're creating a sacred space together. This is like a treasure, it's like stumbling upon a treasure. Wow, this will change your life. It's nourishing in ways that are more than just about food. It's really nourishing to I found that the course was very nourishing to my heart and soul. I grew up in a place where we had like white bread and butter with noodles in the same meal.
mm,
And um there was not a lot of creativity or time spent together in a kitchen exploring foods or flavors. And so now I feel like this course has opened up a whole new world um, of being at ease in doing that. In uh, you know, going into the produce section of the store and picking up items and smelling them and feeling them and thinking like, oh, what would this flavor taste good with? Or we roasted tomatoes until they were burnt and it released such an incredible flavor. How would that taste with, you know, this or this? Or what if I did that with a different vegetable? So it's opened up a whole new level of creativity in my cooking and freedom and just like all around deliciousness. The shift has been within me, and that shift within me has definitely affected my husband and my daughter. And the sense of freedom that I feel is more creative and nourishing. So it feels less stifled and more nourishing. And I feel less perfectionistic, like I have to get it right. There was an evolution in how I actually am comfortable in my kitchen, and that evolution opened up a lot of creativity, and I'll take that. I hope that that just continues to open,
Oh,
because I feel like that level of freedom um definitely bleeds over into the rest of my life.